It just depends on the drape. It depends on, you know, how the person likes to set things up. These drapes are supposed to be water repellent, but they do actually, they seep in a little bit of fluid, okay? Most of us like to use some towels just to sop up a little bit extra. Could be a little bit of blood in this area where we're putting catheters in and out, doing connections. Down here where I may be flushing catheters, I'm using my manifold, there may be some extra fluid. So a lot of us like to just throw out some towels. This I'm not going to test you on for lab purposes. I do want you to practice it a little bit today, and we'll practice a little bit next week probably. I'll have them laid out for you for the practical, but once you get in the lab, like I said, it's really only going to pertain to those people that are going cath. And once you get in the lab, they're going to show you different ways. So I don't want you like stuck. No, this is the way she said it had to be, you know. You need to be flexible and understand, but I want you to have the concept of what this is going to look like when you get out there. Okay? Normally it's a longer table, and I actually am going to extend this table once we get the drape where we're not going to be taking it off anymore. I'll put the board to extend the table a little bit so we have a little more working room. But something like so. I'm going to keep that for my catheters. And then, reaching only on the inside, I can clamp this up. And what I'm kind of doing is making a little wall here. A lot of labs also have a little control panel over here that's a touch screen to work your x-ray, to change to DSA, to do different things that you need to do. And so you'll cover that with that plastic piece as you throw that over. That way, as the sterile person, it's touch screen, I can touch it, and I don't contaminate myself. Okay? All right? I like to also, because you're gonna be working on this patient's body, okay? This is something I did forget. I always feel like I forget something, like I tell more as I go on through the day. But one of the things I did forget that I did tell the other group. So this mannequin, you know, his foot is sticking up like this. Both of his feet are up like that. That's a hard, and some people will be so tight-legged and their feet will be, and it's just not a great workspace. So I like to try to get the patient, I'll tell them, open your legs a little bit, kind of spread your legs, and try to get their foot kind of turned out. Now, some people, it's only going to turn so much. You know, we can't hyperextend their hip or anything. But not only does turning their foot out, sometimes if it is hard for you to feel their pulse, that will actually kind of rotate the artery a little bit when you turn their foot outward, pronate the foot, and it'll make it easier to get that femoral artery as well. So this is your workspace. You are going to have items sitting up here. And so if they did, some places they'll strap the patient's legs down. Some places they don't, okay? And they're conscious sedation, they're not completely out. They might bend their legs up, kick their legs up, okay? They fall asleep on you, whatever. So I like to make just a little, kind of like a little wall or a little trough over there on that side. Another thing, so things could fall off on this side. We have one drape that actually has a little pocket. Did you see that one?
Yes,
that actually is what we used to use at Riverside.
Memorial has pockets.
Do they have those too?
Yes.
They have a pocket?
Yes.
Well, of course, this one doesn't have a pocket on this side, but you can make yourself a little pocket if you want it. Now, when you're setting up radial, a lot of people do make a little pocket on the radial, and we'll look at that more whenever we get in the advanced class. We'll try to do some of those more special things when we've got more time. And just make myself a little pocket here. That way, if anything went to fall off on this side, it would catch it. Like syringes or whatever, the flush syringes that I've got up here for the doctor. Okay, so that's kind of how we're gonna set our patient drape up. Okay. Now, we're going to bag bag any items that need a sterile bag on it, okay? Some places have a shield, an x-ray little shield that sits on the side of the table. They have a piece that comes up, and so before you actually put your drape on, you'll cover that piece that comes up, and then you'll also throw the drape on. Of course, our image intensifier needs to be covered. So think about when we go into that caudal position and we bring the image intensifier as close to the patient as possible, it could be very close even to the femoral access. And so we want that to be covered with a sterile bag so it doesn't contaminate my field. The shield that I showed you a while ago that hangs from the ceiling that the doctor can grab a hold of and bring over here to protect themselves from extra scatter. You can't touch that unless it has a sterile bag on it, okay? And so we have to bag those with tube drapes, okay? So the only thing that I can demonstrate is the image intensifier, but it doesn't matter. Anytime you're gonna bag anything, we gotta protect our hands. We gotta keep these hands sterile. So we're gonna take it, and of course they're gonna look a lot nicer when we first open them. There are different sizes. These are a little bigger than this one for the shield and for the shield that goes here. I actually like these for little garbage bags. Whenever we don't use them, if they don't get contaminated, I'll try to take them home for like the garbage can in the bathroom or whatever. Anyway, you're usually gonna have a smaller one for your II, okay? Now, this is a small II. This is pretty easy to bag. Sometimes those 19-inch, they're about that wide, about like that. You'll probably see them when you go into Memorial. I think they have the peripheral image intensifiers. They're a little harder to bag. Sometimes I'll get my circulator or my nurse to actually help me. Because the biggest issue is, like, you're here, you can't be all up on the patient because you can't contaminate here. So if I'm having to really reach to get this bag around, sometimes you might need help. With this one, I'm not gonna need any help. But biggest issue, no matter what is happening, protect those hands, wrap them underneath. I guess you could think like, oh, if you were out with your doggy and he went to the bathroom or she went to the bathroom and you need to pick their poop up in the bag because your homeowners association says don't leave poop on the ground, you're gonna protect your hand, right? You're gonna reach down, pick up that poop, and then turn the bag. And never touch the poop. It's kind of the same idea. I didn't use that analogy last time, it just came to me. I'll probably remember it now. I saw a woman doing that the other day when I was going to the doctor. Where we live, they just poop in our yard. We're in the country, kind of. Anyway, so you're gonna go and just kind of work it, being careful not to hit the patient. Also, so you do have to have it clenched up enough where you're going to be able to get it on, and then you're just going to kind of let it pop back and pull your hands out so that you don't touch anything and contaminate your hands. Okay, so go ahead and move kind of around here so you can see my setup. And then, do you want to just
scrub with it?
Well, I'll let one of them, I guess. Then they can just stay scrubbed. I thought about it, and Theo had asked. That's why I had him do it. I think one of these ladies could hopefully help me out. Has anybody reviewed the percutaneous approach that or you think you can remember how we get access? That was on the last test. So,
the steps that we had to
yes, the steps. Okay, so I'll let you scrub with me. Let me get it. And I'll walk you through it. It doesn't even have to know it, but as long as you got a concept of it, it's going to help a lot more. Okay? So now we're going to be setting everything up